Thank you, Senator Kelly. Now, I would like to introduce Tanya Trujillo, Assistant Secretary for Water and Sands, Department of Interior, and invite her to the stage. She didn't want me to make a big deal, so I'm just going to let her come up.
Thank you very much, Aaron. And you forgot you're supposed to tell about how I'm from New Mexico too. But good morning, everyone, and thank you very much to the CRWUA leadership and to my fellow New Mexican President Chavez for leading the conference here today and bringing us all together once again. And thank you, Senator Kelly, for the remarks. It's great to have the support and attention from Congress as we work through these challenging issues. I want to say greetings to all of the friends and colleagues here today who have gathered once again for the CRWUA conference. I know many of you are public servants, and I thank you for your public service, and to all of the leaders in the basin who are helping to guide us through these difficult conditions that we are facing. As a New Mexican, I want to take a moment and acknowledge the role and contribution of one of those leaders, Jim Dunlap, who has died recently, and he provided our basin with tremendous leadership and still plays a mentorship role to several of us here. So thank you, Jim, for your continuing public service. This conference brings us together from all 7 states and all 30 of our tribal nations, but also with our essential partners in Mexico. And so, as has been our tradition for several years, we will hear from IBWC and CELA commissioners this year, but we are also going to be able to recognize this year as the 200th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the United States and Mexico. We are here today to honor the crucial role of IBWC and CELA in ensuring the equitable and sustainable use of the Colorado River for the benefit of both of our countries. I am very honored to be joined today by my friends and colleagues from Mexico and from the IBWC. We have U.S. Commissioner Maria-Elena of the International Boundary Water Commission. We have Mexican Commissioner Adriana Reséndez. And also joining us today is Pablo Galvez from the Border Affairs Director. He is the Border Affairs Director of Mexico's Secretariat of Foreign Relations. So thank you all for joining us. We will present, we will hear brief remarks from each of them, and then we will have a presentation of awards to mark the commemoration of the bicentennial. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the presence and role of Ambassador Ken Salazar, our American ambassador to Mexico, who was one of our former secretaries at the Department of Interior and a prior senator from the state of Colorado. Ambassador Salazar continues to keep a very close watch on the actions we are taking here in the Colorado River Basin, and I know he would be happy that we're commemorating the 200th anniversary today of binational relations. Commissioner Hiner, I am honored to turn the stage over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure and honor to be here. When I was here last year, I had only been on the job about 4 months. And so I was really nervous about doing this speech because I was getting all the minute numbers mixed up and all the years mixed up and all the treaties mixed up. But I think today now I feel like I'm in total command of all of these numbers and activities that have been going on. And I think that's really what it shows, is that there's a real true tribute to all of the members that have participated in the history of diplomatic relationships between the United States and Mexico. So you see this logo here on this slide, and this is the logo that was created by SRE, or the equivalent of Department of State in Mexico, Secretariat de Relaciones Exteriores. And today marks or this week marks the 200th anniversary of diplomatic relationships between the United States and Mexico. And it was establishing following Mexico's independence from Spain. With respect to IBWC, in the 1960s, the United States and Mexico resolved a century-old land dispute between the two countries. And that land dispute came because of the shifting of the Rio Grande. And so obviously, exchanging lands between two sovereign nations is very, very, very difficult, right? But the department, when that treaty was signed, the Department of State published this and said, the treaty that resolved the dispute said, the settlement proves that men of goodwill determined to preserve a time-honored friendship will make sacrifices to undo the mischief that nature has brought. So obviously we're here again, we continue to deal with the mischief of nature. And here now we are with drought on the Colorado River. And so we're hoping that the 200 years of diplomatic relationship between the two countries will serve as the basis for resolving the same issues. And one of the things that I always say, we're all on the same side, right? We want all our communities to thrive. We want them to be prosperous. And we want to make sure we leave water for the future. And so that's what men of goodwill, I would now say women, because us three comadres here, are working on resolving that. So what has been done? I want to highlight some of the actions here that under Minute 323 was mentioned in the video. And Minute 323 was really built upon a series of minutes, 316, 317, 319, and what that shows, and 319 was the pilot, and 323 now has become more programmatic, and its effect is, it's in effect between 2017 and 2026, so it ties very well with timing of the next agreement that needs to be put in place, but it addresses various elements of water reserves, shortage reductions, conservation, and the environment. With regards to water reserves, this is really a recognition that the basin operates as one, and it provides flexibility for Mexico to store their water or take deferred deliveries in infrastructure that exists, which is in Lake Mead. Because of these deferred deliveries, this has allowed for the levels in the lake to be increased by 2 to 3 feet. Which is really important because it avoided the next level of tier shortages. So far in 2023, reductions to Mexico will be on the order of 70,000 acre feet. And in the binational waters, under the binational water scarcity contingency plan, an additional 34,000 acre feet is expected to, I'm sorry, that's the wrong slide. Oh, well, I don't think I'm going forward. But anyways, an additional 34,000 acre feet will be conserved for a total of 104,000 acre feet. So what does the program include? And this is where we start looking for opportunities of investment in Mexico that will bring water savings to the system and to the region. And so the program includes $31.5 million from U.S. entities, both the federal government and the state government. And there's water for U.S. agencies, for the environment, and system storage. Commissioner Reséndez will highlight some of the types of projects that are ongoing in her remarks. Under the drought management, we recognize that Minute 323 is not enough, and the savings that need to be achieved is not enough. And so last year here at this venue, we announced that we were going to be forming a binational work group on proactive measures. And that has been really powerful because, as many of you know, meeting and seeing the whites of each other's eyes is very, very important to understand urgency. And so what this has really come to is to really create a sense of understanding of the science, as well as that what is being done now is not enough. And so all of the work that has been done this year that really has given tools to us, both the two sections, to continue impressing upon local leaders and the federal government of the importance to do more. So here, what we have here is a meeting where we have briefed the Director General of Mexico's National Water Commission already on 2 occasions. And every time we meet, we make further progress on identifying opportunities to further conserve water. And as my last slide. So I'm going to end with the quote from Wayne Gretzky, which is, "A good hockey player plays where the puck is. A great hockey player plays where the puck is going to be." And this is really critical because I tie it back to the original comment or publication by Department of State that says, you know, our mission is to deal with this mischievous nature that's out of our control. So thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you again this year. I would like to say hi to my colleagues in this panel and to Commissioner Tutton. Since 2002, we have observed how drought conditions have prevailed in the Colorado River Basin and how storage in Lakes Powell and Meade has decreased over time. Over these 22 years, we have sought mechanisms to binational address this issue. We have implemented binational work groups and different topics, exchange information that has made it possible to understand system operation and perform hydrologic analysis. We have prepared 5 minutes on binational cooperation and implemented the agreements established in those minutes, including environmental restoration projects and water in exchange for infrastructure. We have also defined how both countries will distribute shortages under scarcity conditions and develop a binational water scarcity contingency plan, a plan that includes water savings, among other aspects. Currently, Minute 323 enforced to 2026 contains 9 key elements that were determined based on the experience of Minute 319. During Minute 323 implementation, the following actions have been carried out. A constant exchange of information between the two countries has been ongoing with regard to the basin conditions and forecasts under the Minute 323 hydrology work group. We have held meetings of the 323 Minute oversight group, as well as the binational working groups, where we have reviewed progress towards compliance with the Minute's commitments. Construction is underway for the water conservation projects using the resources stipulated in the Minute 323 as part of the first package with an investment of $4.3 million. Those include modernization and control and automatization wares and other projects. Additionally, executive projects are being developed for conservation projects that include canal linings, gate installation, and leveling, which will most immediately contribute volume of 30,300 acre-feet or 16.4 million cubic meters. A binational following project, the first of its kind to be implemented, is in the process of approval. Using Minute 323 resources, environmental restoration projects has been carried out along the limitrophal ridge of the Colorado River and its delta. 70,000 acre-feet of water of the environment was delivered as the United States contribution under Minute 323 in accordance with the time frame specified in the minute. As my comadre says, a binational proactive measure work group was established, and the corresponding Mexican institution has been regularly updated regarding basin condition in order to prepare. Press releases have also been issued in order to keep the general population in Mexico informed about the issue. I would like to add that we have had meetings with governors of the Mexican states and with other agencies and other organizations in Mexico. And the governors of Mexico are aware that the situation that is happening in Colorado River. We are aware that Colorado River Basin is facing unprecedented drought, and the risk this poses has leveled in the major reservoirs reached historic lows. As stipulated in Minute 323, we will discuss the measures required to protect the system. Faced with this current reality in the Colorado River Basin, we must look for new water management arrangements. Both governments look to the IBWC, an institution with more than 130 years of experience, for its role in solving border differences, and because the IBWC has managed to address various challenges throughout its history. We also have the 1944 Water Treaty that allots Colorado River water to Mexico. Based on that authority, a series of minutes have been signed which regulate these deliveries. Despite being separate countries with different social and economic conditions, we have a common goal, that is to care for and protect the water of our users. We understand that we are partners and that we share the Colorado River waters, and we are willing to work together to protect our source, our shared resource. I would like to say something to find, please. In the Colorado River Water Symposium in Santa Fe, I heard Commissioner Tuton say some words in Spanish, and she says, hagámoslo juntos, do it together. And I would like to say, we will do it together, and we must do it very well in benefit of the millions of people who depend on the water of the Colorado River in both countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both of the commissioners. They're excellent engineers and colleagues, and we appreciate your service in helping us get through these difficult times for the benefit of both of our countries, working together. And now I'm pleased to present Mr. Director Galvez. So please, you can make remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. I'll be giving out my remarks today on behalf of Roberto Velasco, who is the Undersecretary for North America. He was supposed to be here, but he had to fly out to Washington, D.C. He's planning the details for the North American Leaders Summit in January, Mexico and the President of Mexico will be hosting President Biden. So it is of great importance, our diplomatic relations. So he just sent me out to give you all three important messages. He said, tell them that the partnership and commitment of Mexico stands. Share with you all some of the things that we've been working on, and to wish you all plenty of snow. So, good morning to all of the authorities here present, federal, state, local, congressmen, legislators, to the president of CRWUA, thank you for the invitation, to the commissioners, and to all the Colorado River water users. I'm very grateful for the invitation to participate in this annual conference and to be able to share with you how the government of Mexico is working on this important subject related to the current conditions of the Colorado River Basin. I want to mention that this past December 12th, the United States and Mexico had their 200 years anniversary of diplomatic relations, and discussing issues as daunting as this one brings our two nations and peoples together, and it is a further testament of the collaborative climate that already characterizes our close ties. In the past, we have faced binational challenges, this being one of them, and together, through time, we have reached many goals and solutions. In this case, I am confident that we will develop a binational framework for the waters of the Colorado River. For Mexico, the Colorado River water basin is a priority issue for the various federal and states involved. The President of Mexico is aware of the situation, and together with the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, as well as with the National Water Agency, and obviously the Mexican section of SILA, IBWC, as well as with the authorities from the local governments of the state of Baja and the state of Sonora, who are with us here today. Here is the Secretary of Water for the state of Baja California. So we're deeply committed on this issue. And we're working jointly and binationally to identify cooperation opportunities that help us face this drought. We have met on various occasions, and in the last year to promote them urgently. In Mexico, large cities such as Tijuana, Mexicali, Rosarito, and San Luis Rio Colorado depend primarily on the vital water supply of the Colorado River. Almost 95% of these large populations depend on the river. So it's of great importance to us to work on solutions. And one of them is working on the modernization of Irrigation District 14, which is the district that is the largest user of water in this region. We have, as the Commissioner mentioned, we have identified great following areas and projects that are being carried out, as well as the general modernization of water infrastructure. Some of these immediate and short-term efforts will lead us to save additional volumes. There are also medium and longer-term projects being analyzed. As those mentioned by Senator Kelly, we have 3 projects for desalination plants in order to achieve new sources of water. And as you know, our countries have a long history of cooperation to manage their natural resources, to protect biodiversity, to address climate change and issues, and provide sustainable opportunities for communities. And one example of this cooperation was a signing of Minute 323, in which various binational working groups were created, such as the desalination group, the environmental group, the projects group, the deliveries group, among others. And each time we meet, we have the task of protecting and conserving one of the most important transboundary hydrological basins. Today, we reiterate the importance of continuing to discuss cooperation options to find the greatest number of actions to contain the current situation in the Colorado River. We are well aware that we're currently facing an unprecedented situation. but for this reason, we reaffirmed the importance of discussing binational partnership options that lead us to reverse these adverse conditions. So I thank you all for your attention. I reiterate the importance of partnership to achieve these solutions together, and wish you all plenty of snow. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Galvez. I would like to now invite you all to stand, and we'll exchange our commemorative plaques for the 200th anniversary of our relations on binational issues. First, I would like to present our friend and colleague, Adriana Reséndez, the commissioner from the Mexican section, with the plaque to honor the anniversary of the 200th anniversary of binational relations, diplomatic relations. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
So I would like to present, in honor of the 200th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Mexico and the United States, to Maria-Elena, the U.S. IBWC Commissioner, for the crucial role in ensuring the equitable and sustainable use of the Colorado River for the mutual benefit of our two countries.
Okay, thank you again to our colleagues from Mexico who truly recognize the importance of the shared responsibility that we have for management in the system.